Wow, you know, it does make a difference when you sit with a person who has been there where you are for years. It does make a difference when you sit down and listen to that person give you both perspectives, the past, the present, and even the future. Welcome to Friday with Mr. B here on WTV. My name is Johnson Mwakazi, and Mr. B stands for Mr. Beeden, a journalist of over 30 years who has seen the media world in the country grow up to where it is right now. And he comes with another perspective of responsible journalism that seeks to develop, not to destroy, develop the nation. Mr. Beeden, Mr. B,
Yes,
karibu sana.
asante.
You know, it's always an amazing opportunity to really converse with you, from health issues to corruption issues, and definitely we've been very particular on corruption. Let's look at the topical issues happening in the country. The teachers in this country have been in the forefront of making sure that our students grow up in the best way possible. Definitely there have been falls here and there. However, the recent happenings in the country have not proven their resolve to develop the country, because we have students who are at home because they're on strike. Why are they on the strike? Because they're fighting for their rights. The Supreme Court declared that they ought to be paid their 50–60% salary increment. The government said there is no money. What do you have to say about that?
I think the proper situation is that the wage bill in this country is frightening, and wage bill could bring the whole country down, because people keep on going for more and more and more, not realizing that even as they need more, that the tax, the one who bears the burden for tax is this ordinary Kenyan you see walking here, a simple mother who is buying sukari, unga. All those people pay taxes, and they cannot be able to carry this burden forever. I think that is the truth. Yes, there are people who will see they need, like in case of teachers. And I have no problem people being paid more. What I have consistently said is that teachers have not proven in this country that they are so dedicated to their job that they deserve that money. And I would say straight, without fear of contradiction, that they don't deserve. The reason I say that is because the moment you fight for money to increase, you must explain the society what they are going to get in return.
So just to come in there, when you talk of deserving, they have every right to say they deserve. Apart
Yes.
from just saying we want 50–60%, the Supreme Court
Yes.
declared
Yeah.
that they ought to be paid. So that definitely says they deserve.
Yes. You see, there is what is legal. Yeah? Legally, we could say Mwakazi ought to take responsibility on environment. But that doesn't mean that if you just collect one or two of the papers that are on the street, you say you have done it. We must think about going beyond the law in terms of our responsibility. As far where I'm coming from is that we must go beyond what law has described even as minimum. And it's not in terms of pay. I started by saying I have no problem whatever you need to be paid. But where I say they don't deserve is when you look at the side of deliverables, not in terms of law, deliverables. Most of the teachers that I know and I have talked to, they don't have their children in the public schools. Why? When I went to school, teachers' children were sitting with us. And at that time, you find that even though there was still movement of teachers, nothing has happened like a whole month can go without you being in a class and there is exam. To me, that is being also capricious and a lack of human feeling about all these children. These children, if they are yours, what would you do?
Right. I mean, that is a valid concern, and definitely we cannot give a blanket verdict and say all teachers are like that.
Yes.
But here we're faced with a situation that is affecting all the teachers.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has passed a verdict that all teachers should be paid a particular amount.
Yes.
And all the government is saying is that there is no money. So a teacher sits down and says, you expect us to serve the children of this nation, yet there is no proactive commitment from the government to handle the issues of teachers.
I think, in my view, when government says there is no money, I believe there is no money. Not because government has said. It's just looking at the wage bills, how it has built up, and it's not only teachers, by the way. It started with the members of parliament. Their first discussion was about increasing their pay. And since that time, that triggered this movement of we want more, we want more. Yeah? And huge, hefty salaries. So I believe you cannot go like in that journey without destroying the country. In fact, when you have wage bills so high, remember there is no money for even serious and a major development. There isn't.
Yeah, Mr. B, the concern here is when you hear a county government buy one wheelbarrow for 100,000 shillings, and when you hear of a county government planting grass, you remember during the coming of US President Barack Obama, and then in a span of 1 month tell teachers there is no money, and yet money is being seen, sort of misused, it questions the statement there is no money from the government.
You see, the money that has also been given is also dictated by also the law that created counties, that on the basis of population and the poverty index, this county will get so much. This county will get so much. So what that county is doing is to steal from its own citizens. It's the same as the one of teachers, because that county will not have deliverables to the people. The moment they are receiving that money, they should also have deliverables that correspond with that amount of money. Yeah? I'm saying that what is gaping also in teachers, if they are given that 60%, what deliverables? You know, my issue is not whether you get the money.
So deliverables, the results.
And I'm saying all the strikes that have gone before, we have not seen the change of A's. Because there are times they have been given money. Only now there is that dispute now. But I have to keep on repeating many, many times that every money that is given, there must be corresponding deliverables to the citizens of this country. By the way, even an office like ours now, we have deliverables. And you know we have performance contracts. Yeah? And these performance contracts shows how many shows workers should deliver. Huh? It should show the production manager how many he is going also to deliver. It shows me as the managing director how many big doors I'm going to open for the business so that their advertising agents or group in our place, that they are able to follow up. What kind of position we are going to pitch our TV, and this is why we have created all these initiatives, Mothers Against Drugs and Alcohol, so that we become involved in the society. We have something we are delivering to the society, so that if the society is going to give us advertisement, or we are going to be given because of there is something we are delivering. So if I say, it's very easy for me to say, okay, the court said they are paid 60%, so pay them. That is the easiest thing. But I must say that if the teachers want to be taken seriously and to be supported by the Kenyan people in their demands, because if they lose public support,
that's it.
And mind you, government is only an agent that acts on behalf of the citizen, is supposed to. And these are the citizens whose children are suffering. So it's up to teachers to say, even as we demand, let's make sure that the children are not suffering. What in fact they are doing is like now, I have dispute with you, Johnson, but you are too strong for me. So I wait for your children when they are coming from school, somewhere in a little bush, and a little beat them up and probably even kill them. That's what is happening. If they are doing what I'm saying, that they can go on with the fighting for their dispute, the next thing they should have done is to say the government is committing contempt of court. Because court ruled, they must be paid that. You cannot go to court and then you feel you have gotten an advantage, and then move from the court and they use extrajudicial strategy again to achieve the same end. If you want to use the law route, be consistently there. And there is a place for that.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That point really drives it home that if we're definitely going to say we're going to stand according to the rule of law, we ought to be consistent with that. We cannot fight by doing that which is evil and yet say we're following the rule of law. We want to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the corruption situation, the concerns that have been raised in regards to the National Youth Service, and we'll also look at the refugee crisis and how we can, as Kenyans, make sure that we develop a solid country that will be a home to the children of Kenya and even open to the world. We'll be right back.